You say, oh, it lasts about 3 days. Yeah, after about 3 days, I wouldn't drink it. You can freeze it. So for people who do smoothies, here's an idea. You could put it, Shanette, you're gonna bust out laughing when I say this. You can make ice cubes out of it, and you can use it for your smoothie. So if you don't have ice cubes, like most people in America today, you can go to Michael's and get the silicone candy trays, like you make candy out of, and you can pop this milk right in there, pop it in the freezer, and then you'll have almond cubes for your smoothies. So at that point, you could add pieces of strawberry, you can add whatever to it, and then in the morning when you make your I know, Shanette, ice trays. Anyway, when you make your smoothie in the morning, you already have some of the flavors already. You have the ice, because you add ice to it anyway. Oh, well, I do, because I like it cold. You have your ice already. You have your milk, you have your sweetener. If you know the dates and it's healthy, it's still healthy, you can do that with it. So that's one way to preserve it. So if I were on day 2 and I took all this time, hey Super Nurse 1 on IG, how are you? If I took all this time making this milk, then I wouldn't want to waste any. So yep, just change it into cubes and use it for your smoothies. Hey Tracy, how are you? All right, so I'm still squeezing because I'm cheap and it's really good. So I'm still squeezing, and then you're gonna have left the shavings. So that's what you see right here. I have the shavings left, and if you were ambitious, you could take these shavings and make, if you didn't add sugar and things like that, you can make an almond flour. So you could dry these, put them in the food processor and turn it into a flour. So you don't waste any of it. Yep, you don't waste any of it. So that's something that we'll talk about a little bit later on. Let me just get you started with this part first. I'm saving the shavings, and they'll become a breading for something that I'm gonna make, probably eggplant or something. Well, I don't know, because it's kind of sweet, so I don't know, we'll see. All right, I'm almost done with this. It only yielded about half, so about 16 ounces with what I just did. So I'm gonna just repeat the process. Oh, you use it for flour too? Exactly, yep, use it for flour. I'm telling you. So you have taken those almonds, you made flour, and you made milk. You can't beat that, right? And you can buy from Aldi, so they're not even that expensive. So, one thing that people always say is being healthy is expensive. It's not expensive, it's time consuming. It just takes time to do this. But the way I look at it is I'm worth it. I deserve a chef standing in my kitchen making me homemade almond milk, right? It's a privilege. So I consider it, although it is work, I consider it a privilege to be able to cook for myself and make something that's this yummy, and it has health benefits. It's a privilege. So again, like I was telling you earlier, it's about mindset. This whole healthy lifestyle is a mindset thing. If you're in it for any selfish reason, it might not last. If you're in it just to lose weight, that's not motivation enough. If you're in it to get into a dress for a wedding, not motivation enough, because when the wedding's over, your diet is over. If you are a part of this whole vegan fad, that's really, I guess it's cool to be a vegan, that doesn't last either. But when you put yourself first, when you say, I deserve this attention that I'm giving to myself, I deserve this time, I deserve these trips to the 2 supermarkets, and I deserve a personal chef in my kitchen preparing my meals, then it just changes your perspective. It becomes a joy. You become excited about making things like this and sharing it with the world, right? So that's one of the things that I am here to do. As much as I can, as often as I can, as passionate as I can, is to remind you that you are worth it. You're worth this time. All right? So, like I was telling you, I have about 16 ounces. So there were, oh, it smells so good. 2 cups of this water. So I use alkaline water. You use whatever water you choose, but this water is Amaze Balls, Evermore Amazing. So 2 cups of water, 1 cup of almonds, 5 dates, a half a teaspoon of allspice, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, a quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a glass, and a willing vessel. And I have almond milk. That's it. I'll make some more for you. I'll show you. If I had the pumpkin, it just would have been orange, and it tastes like pumpkin spice. So that's the only thing, Kiki, I'm sorry. That's the only thing that's missing from this. But that's it. There you have it. And you can freeze it. If you use mason jars, like I was saying earlier about the ice cubes, if you use a mason jar, if you get to day 2 and you don't want to waste it, so you had this much left and you don't want to waste it, just put the whole mason jar in the freezer. As long as you had it in the dishwasher before, it was sterile, just put the whole thing in the freezer and save it. And then when you're ready, just take it out and use it. That's it. Almond milk. There you have it. Any questions about this? Anybody, any comments? Anything else you want me to make for you? Anything you can think of? Easy peasy. I made this almond milk in less time than it would have taken me to go around the corner to the supermarket, stand in line, and bring it home, right? Just like that. Easy peasy. Any questions? Oh, you're welcome, baby. It was easy, right? That's all right. That's what we're here for. So, to educate, to empower. That's it. You got anything else you want me to make for you, Kiki, since no one else is asking? I will show you later this week. I froze those meatballs, those who were tuned in yesterday. I froze those meatballs yesterday, and I'm just going to make something this week. So, my client liked the spaghetti and meatballs, so I'll probably do that and show you how they looked in the meatball, in the marinara. So we'll do that later on this week. And I have to make a veggie soup for my client, so I might do that. But anything else you guys can think of, if you can't think of it now, just shoot me an inbox. Say something to me on Facebook, and I will see, can I change it into something that's more healthy? Anything you want me to teach you or anything like that, just let me know. And I am here for you. All right, no questions? You guys good? Told you I wouldn't keep you long. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Oh, vegan Thanksgiving ideas. So this part is super great to me because I'm not a vegan. I'll tell you, I just enjoy eating. I like food. So I am a pseudo-vegan, and I enjoy coming up with vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian meal options. So for Thanksgiving, to replace the turkey, this is what I would do. One of the things I would do. You can have which I happen to have one right here, a butternut squash. So you want to make, because you're so used to having a turkey in the center of the table or a ham in the center of the table, choose something that's large enough so that it'll help your mind. You won't feel like you're having a whole table of side dishes, right? So I would take this butternut squash. I would bake it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes to make it easier for you to cut, because I don't know if those of you who use this a lot, it's very, very tough to cut through. So I would cut this in, after about 15 minutes, I would cut it in half. And the idea is to stuff this. So I would have 2 halves. I would bake it a little bit longer, maybe 15, 20 minutes. I would take a fork, and for each half, I would fluff through just to loosen up loosen it up. Inside of it, I would stuff it, because stuffing is good. And if you're not opposed to stuffing, I would stuff it with maybe some already prepared stuffing, quinoa, just because you want to make it filling, sweet potatoes, some kale, and just stuff it. Right? You just want to put something in it that you enjoy tasting, and just stuff both halves, and then finish cooking it for about 15. You did 15 minutes first, you did 20 minutes second, that's 25 minutes. I would probably do it maybe another 25 minutes and just keep checking it. Cook both halves. And what you would have is stuffed butternut squash. So you have these 2 halves on your table looking very, very good, and you would serve it. Just cut it, slice it, and serve it. So just slice it like you're slicing bread, and each person would get the squash with whatever it is that you stuffed it with. I do like squash and, hey Rhonda, I do like squash and sweet potatoes together. And then, like I said, the quinoa, because it just helped make it filling. And the kale, because kale is like super good. And then it makes it colorful too. It makes it pretty. Corn, and and it'll be a little bit sweet because once you cook the butternut squash, it has a little bit of sweetness, and then the sweet potatoes has a little bit of sweet, and then that stuffing and quinoa and even cranberries if you want. That would be pretty good too. Put some cranberries in it, and then there you go. You have a stuffed squash instead of a stuffed turkey. Put celery in it. There's so many combinations, and what I'll do, thanks for asking, Shanette. Hey, Auntie. Thanks for asking, Shanette. What I'll do is I'll, before Thanksgiving, I'll stuff this, or stuff one, and just make it so that you'll see that what it will look like. So it'll just be the nice centerpiece, nice and brown and stuffed, and you won't feel like you're missing out on something that everybody else has. So to answer that, Shanette, that's exactly what I would do. Or a pumpkin. My pumpkin is too big, but just take a smaller pumpkin and the same idea. You would take the pumpkin, instead of cutting it in half, well, you could cut it in half. Yeah, well, you just have to take the top off. So I would take the top off. Again, it's tough to cook, just like, it's tough to cut, just like the butternut squash, but cut the top off. You could split it down the middle. You take the inside out. Take all the insides out and put those pumpkin seeds to the side, because later on you could use those pumpkin seeds. You could roast them and actually restuff the pumpkin with its own seeds after you roast them, and we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, take the heart out and then put both of them like this in the oven, and you want to cook that for maybe 30 minutes or so until it's pliable, so that, or malleable, or forkable, for lack of a better word, so that you can fluff through it. And then I would fluff both halves, and then I would put in it, while they were cooking, take those pumpkin seeds, pull the strings off, rinse them off, and season them with whatever seasoning whatever you feel like. If you think stuffing has the herbs, so I would season those pumpkin seeds like herbal. Coat them in some olive oil for butter, for those of you who want it a little bit fattening, but coat it, and then I would put in it the same seasoning, celery seasoning, parsley. I would put thyme. I would probably use something else that I made up, like green pepper. I'm dehydrating my own herbs, so I would use some red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, season it really good. Put some kosher salt on it, crack some pepper on it, and toss those seeds up and put them in the oven and roast those while your pumpkin's getting done. And then you can stuff your pumpkin with those seeds. You can make some stuffing to go in it, the same idea. Quinoa, sweet potatoes. You could put regular potatoes in it if you want. The same idea. You could also take black beans, mash them, toss them in a little bit of avocado oil or something on the stove to harden it a little bit and make it like a meat. And you could stuff the pumpkin with that black bean meat as well, and then add the same other stuff to it. Celery, because I like crunch, like I told you. So stuffing, celery. You can mess it up a little bit and put some Fiji apples in it to give it a little bit of a sweetness and a crunch. The possibilities are endless. So again, thank you for asking, Shanette, and I will, later on this week or the beginning of next week, I will go in and do, we'll concentrate on vegan Thanksgiving and what kind of options there are for people who are giving up the turkey and the ham this year. So thank you so much, and let me know, Shanette, how that turns out for you. Canty Creates, hi there on IG. I'm sorry I didn't speak to you when you came in the room. Chef Jerome, hello, how are you? Oh Lord, I got to do really good as chef's on. Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you so much, so very, very much for joining. If you have any questions about that recipe, you could call me or inbox me, or you could get the book, The Black Girl's Guide to Wellness. But it's, if you want it, you can get it from me. But if you just want this book with this beautiful cover and this crazy lady on the cover, you can also get the book, and the recipe along with 20 other delicious recipes are in the book. Or, just ask me. All right, if there are no more questions, I'll come on. I don't have any special requests for tomorrow, so I'm not sure. If somebody sends me an inbox or something pops up, I'll pop on tomorrow and give you something else that'll help you be more healthy and live healthy on purpose. How's that? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and let me know if you try this almond milk. Let me know how it turns out for you. All right? All right. Thank you guys, and be well.